The ballroom glowed with golden chandeliers as Lagos's elite gathered for the charity gala of the year. Cameras flashed, glasses clinked, and laughter echoed. At the center of it all stood Nnamdi Okorafor, a tall, broad-shouldered black African man, wearing a perfectly tailored black tuxedo with a silk bow tie. His dark skin gleamed under the lights, his posture radiating power. Beside him stood his wife, Amara Okorafor, stunning in a crimson off-shoulder gown that flowed to the marble floor. Her natural curls framed her face, and a diamond necklace sparkled at her collarbone. They looked flawless, Africa's golden couple, admired by all. Mr. and Mrs. Okorafor. A photographer called. The crowd cheered as Nnamdi leaned toward Amara, kissing her cheek for the cameras. But in that split second, Amara's smile faltered. As soon as the flash went off, she turned away, her manicured hand covering her face. Gasps rippled through the hall. Some thought it was shyness. Others whispered it was coldness. But Nnamdi knew the truth. This was no accident. She always did this. His chest tightened. Behind his charming smile, pain stabbed at his heart. Later that night, inside their glass-walled mansion overlooking the lagoon, silence pressed down like a storm. Nnamdi loosened his bow tie, his tuxedo jacket tossed across the leather sofa. His expensive watch caught the light as he rubbed his temples. He had been patient for too long, but tonight had pushed him to the edge. Amara walked in, her crimson gown now draped with a silk shawl. She had removed her heels, but her elegance remained intact. Her dark skin glowed against the dim golden lamps, yet her eyes betrayed exhaustion. Nnamdi turned sharply. His deep voice, usually calm and commanding, trembled with raw hurt. "Why, Amara? Why do you hide your face every time I touch you? Do you know how it feels to have the world believe you are ashamed of me, when all I want is your love?" Amara froze. Her shawl slipped slightly, revealing trembling hands clutching its fabric. She looked away. "It's not about you, Nnamdi." "Then what is it?" he demanded. His eyes darkened. "We stand before thousands, smiling like royalty. Yet when I kiss you, you turn into a stranger. Tell me, Amara, what are you hiding from me?" Her lips parted, but no sound came. Tears shimmered in her eyes, but she quickly blinked them away. Finally, in a whisper, she said, "Some truths are too heavy to share." 2 years ago, Nnamdi had first seen Amara in a cozy cafe in Victoria Island. She wasn't dressed like a woman from high society. She wore ripped jeans, a simple white shirt, and a black leather jacket. Her afro puff bounced as she laughed with friends, sipping on iced coffee. Nnamdi, a billionaire used to people bowing in his presence, had been stunned. Her confidence, her carefree laughter, it was magnetic. He had walked up to her table, dressed sharply in a gray suit and polished shoes. "I don't mean to interrupt," he had said with a rare smile, "but the room feels dull when you laugh and I'm not a part of it." Her friends had giggled. Amara had raised an eyebrow. "You think charm works on everyone, Mr. Billionaire," he chuckled. "No, but I'm hoping it works on you." From that moment, their story began, two souls from different worlds colliding. Their wedding had been the talk of the nation. Nnamdi wore a white agbada with a modern slim cut paired with designer loafers. Amara stunned in a custom gown that merged traditional lace patterns with modern elegance, her veil flowing like a river. Guests wore Ankara outfits stitched in the latest designs, the atmosphere alive with drums and cameras flashing. When they exchanged vows, the world believed they had witnessed a love story for the ages. But even then, on the night of their union, after the first kiss as husband and wife, Amara had turned away. Nnamdi had noticed but told himself it was nerves. Now, 2 years later, he could no longer ignore the truth. Back in the present, the storm inside Nnamdi finally broke. He removed his watch, his deep voice rising with pain. "I have built empires from dust. I have survived betrayals, lawsuits, and enemies who wanted me ruined. But this silence from you, this wall you build every night, it is killing me in ways nothing else ever has." Amara flinched at his words. Her crimson gown shimmered as she hurried toward the balcony. The cool Lagos breeze brushed against her skin as she gripped the marble railing, tears running freely down her cheeks. Namdi followed, his white shirt sleeves rolled up, his powerful frame casting a shadow beside her. He placed his hand gently on her shoulder, his voice now breaking. "Amara, whatever it is, I can bear it, but don't shut me out. Don't turn our marriage into a performance for the world while I die inside." She shook her head, refusing to face him. Her voice trembled. "You don't know what I carry. If you did, you wouldn't love me the same." "Try me," he whispered. For a moment, silence filled the night. The lagoon sparkled below. The city lights glittered in the distance, but on that balcony, the air was heavy with secrets. Amara finally turned slightly, her face half hidden in the shadows. Her lips trembled as she whispered, "Some scars are better left unseen." That night, the mansion was quiet, but Namdi could not sleep. He lay awake, staring at the ceiling. His mind replayed every moment. Amara's laughter in the cafe, her radiant walk down the aisle, her perfect smile at public events. But what haunted him most was the way she trembled at his touch, as though love itself was something she feared. For the first time, the billionaire who owned everything, cars, companies, mansions, felt powerless. Because the one thing he wanted most, his wife's unguarded love, seemed farther away than ever. And little did he know, the truth Amara hid would not just test their marriage, it would break him. The morning light poured through the wide glass walls of the Okoro mansion, flooding the polished marble floors with gold. The lagoon outside shimmered, boats moving lazily in the distance, while birds chirped in the palm trees that lined the driveway. Inside, Namdi sat at the head of the long dining table. His navy blue slim-fit suit pressed to perfection, his shirt crisp, a diamond-studded wristwatch catching the sunlight. His face, though handsome and commanding, carried a shadow of pain. Across from him, Amara entered quietly. She was dressed in a cream-colored blouse tucked neatly into tailored beige trousers, her heels clicking softly on the floor. Her natural curls were tied into a high puff, her skin glowing even without makeup, but her eyes revealed the tears she had cried through the night. She poured herself black coffee, her hands trembling slightly. Namdi lowered the tablet he had been scrolling. Every headline praised them as the perfect couple of Lagos society. Photos of them from the gala filled the news, him smiling, her glowing in a crimson gown, but none of the articles spoke of how she had hidden her face after his kiss. His deep voice broke the silence. "The world sees perfection, but I see a wall between us. Tell me, Amara, how long will you keep hiding?" His words cut through the stillness of the room. Amara gripped the coffee cup tighter, staring into the dark liquid. "You wouldn't understand," she whispered. Namdi rose, his tall, broad-shouldered frame casting a shadow over her. His fitted suit made him look every inch the billionaire the world admired, but his voice was raw with vulnerability. "I have fought enemies, built empires, faced betrayal, yet nothing hurts more than seeing you turn away from me every time I show love. If there is a truth, let me bear it with you." Her lips trembled. She wanted to tell him, but fear clamped her throat shut. Instead, she shook her head, muttering, "You wouldn't look at me the same." That night, when the city lights twinkled outside and the mansion grew quiet, Amara stood before the tall mirror in their sunlit bedroom. She slowly removed her makeup, her fingers trembling as she revealed what she had hidden for years. Faint scars marred the left side of her face, traces of a fire from her childhood. They weren't fresh or gruesome, just healed ridges, but to her, they were chains of shame. Her tears slid down her cheeks as memories flooded back. Flames roaring, the suffocating smoke, her mother pulling her out of the blaze. She had survived, but the scars remained. She thought of every camera flash, every public kiss, every time she had covered her face to hide them. Suddenly, the door opened. Namdi stepped in, his sleeves rolled up from working late in his home office. His gaze lifted, and for the first time, he saw her reflection without the mask. Amara gasped, spinning around, her hands flying to her face. "Don't look at me," she cried, her voice breaking, but Namdi didn't move back. His eyes glistened with tears as he stepped forward slowly. "Amara?" His voice cracked. "Why would you hide this from me? Why carry this alone?" She sobbed. "Because you deserve perfection. The world sees you as untouchable, the man who has everything. How could I let them see your wife like this? How could I let you see me?" Namdi reached out gently, lowering her hands from her face. His palms were warm, steady, holding her trembling wrists. "The world does not live here," he whispered. "The world did not make me laugh in a cafe, or walk down the aisle with me, or hold me when I was broken. That was you. Amara, scars do not make you less. To me, they make you even more real, more beautiful." Her eyes widened in disbelief. She shook her head. "You're only saying that because you love me." He smiled softly through his tears. "Yes, because I love you. And nothing you reveal will ever change that." Then, in the soft glow of the bedroom light, he leaned forward and pressed his lips to her scars. Amara froze, her heart pounding, her breath caught in her throat. For years she had feared this moment that someone would see, would touch the marks she despised. But when Namdi's lips touched her scars, she didn't feel disgust. She felt freedom. For the first time, she didn't turn away. Her tears fell harder. But this time, they weren't tears of shame. They were tears of release. The next morning, daylight streamed through their curtains. For the first time, Amara didn't rush to cover her face with makeup before leaving the room. She wore a soft linen dress, simple yet elegant, and walked to breakfast with her natural skin visible, scars and all. Namdi looked up at her and smiled proudly, as though she had just won the greatest battle of her life. Days later, they attended another charity luncheon, this time under the blazing Lagos sun. Namdi wore a light gray designer suit with sunglasses. Amara stunned in a flowing golden gown that shimmered in daylight. Cameras swarmed them the moment they arrived. When the crowd called for a kiss, Namdi leaned in. For a heartbeat, Amara's old fear returned, but then she remembered his words, his kiss on her scars, his love unshaken. This time, she let him. She didn't turn away. The cameras flashed, catching her face fully. The faint scars were visible under the sunlight, but so was her radiant smile. Whispers spread in the crowd, but Namdi's proud gaze silenced them. He held her close, his voice low against her ear. "Do you see now? Even daylight can't dim your beauty." She smiled through her tears. "Thank you for choosing me, scars and all." He kissed her forehead. "I will always choose you. In every life, in every season, I will always choose you." That afternoon, as the sun set over Lagos, they stood together on the balcony of the event hall, the city glowing beneath them. For the first time in years, Amara lifted her face to the light without fear, letting the world see her as she was. She was no longer the billionaire's wife who hid her face after every kiss. She was Amara Okoro, the woman who had survived, who had healed, and who was loved beyond measure.